Oh, Christmas time is over, but don't you worry, because Uncle Ben is back. It's party time.
Uncle Ben, ask a question, wait and see. Uncle Ben, what the answer soon will be. Who can say what on earth this accent is? It's revolting, it's insulting, much like 70s showbiz.
Now then, hey, now.
Can you tell what it is yet?
Right, stop it at once, madam. Far too silly indeed. That's quite enough of that, Mrs. etc. Hello, and might I drop a small pill of good evening and welcome into your drink whilst you're not looking? Yes, we're back, and might we wish you all a very Merry Christmas and an extremely Tory-led Trump in power, hard Brexit disaster of a new year. From all of us here at Ask Uncle Ben. Might we? Well, we're going to anyway, so shut your face. I like Donald Trump. Yes, Whistler, but you're an insane, deluded, psychopathic imbecile, so that's hardly surprising now, is it? Now, for those of you who haven't listened before, welcome. That was Whistler, by the way. He sits in the corner of my bedroom whistling the theme tune, which you can currently hear, and probably won't be able to get out of your head for the next 6.5 years. Sorry about that. He's a creepy murderer type chap who sounds remarkably like Fagin. I'm Uncle Ben, obviously. Oh, and there are usually some deranged Oompa Loompas hiding under the bed there, although they might have died in the cold over Christmas. Who knows? Let's have a look. Are you there, Oompas?
Oompa Loompa Doobity-doo. Yes, we are here and ready for you. We are all still oiled and tight. Would you like to do what we did last night?
Ah, very good, yes. Ignore that, please, everybody, immediately. Right, back under the bed with you. Go on, back, naughty little Oompas. So, together here at Ask Uncle Ben, we answer any question you might have, anything at all. Just ask us on Facebook or on YouTube, or message us, and we shall answer you in the upcoming episode. We might answer normally, I use the word normally very loosely there, or we might even write a song or a poem, or possibly engrave the answer on a hand-knitted duvet, and hope you find it one day at your local jumble sale. If you have any other queries about the show, you could always ask the 3.5 people who have listened to it before. Their contact details can be found, I should imagine. But now we must get on. Sorry there's been such a long gap since the previous episode, which was the Halloween special, but I spent the Christmas period pretending to be a Yule log in the middle of Dartmoor. And what fun it was too. Now stop interrupting me please and let's get on with it. We've had a ludicrous amount of questions come in over the last couple of days, so let's dive in elbows first and don't spare the waffle irons, etc. Andy writes in. Hello Andy. Andy says, about time. Now then, it's been 2017 for what can only be accurately described as ages, but so far no one really famous has died. I mean, some people have, obviously, but no one really important, like actors and singers. Please explain this disturbing phenomenon. Hang on a minute, you mean there are other people aside from actors and singers, and they die as well? Good grief. Well, I'm sorry, but if my nephew doesn't have any of them as his profile picture on Facebook, then they just aren't important enough, simple as that. But if you're impatient for some death, Andy, then don't worry, as the Tories are busy murdering all of our rights and decency as we speak. Hope that helps. Andy continues, secondly, with less than a week to go before America inaugurates its next president, oh yes, more joyous things to look forward to there, can you provide instructions on constructing a serviceable space station that I can hide in? With thanks, as always, yours, etc. Well, I think for this I shall hand you over to our lovely friends at Indigo Philip. They're good at this sort of thing. Over to you, Indigo Philip. Hello, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that clip of Duncan abseiling down Liza Minnelli. Next week, he'll be attempting to scale the Eiffel Tower using only a second-hand copy of Reader's Digest and an egg whisk. But now, I'm going to show you how to build your very own space station, so you can hide from all the dreadful things happening on this planet. That'll be fun, won't it? For this project, you're going to need some old newspaper, not the Daily Mail though, because that's not good for anything, 3 pipe cleaners, a washing up bottle, an old woman's driving licence, and an industrial-sized lathe. So just pop into your kitchen and get those now, and don't forget to ask your mum to stay out of the fucking way. If you can't find any of these items, then please just stop wasting my time. Okay, so once you've got them all, use them all to build a space station. And there we have it, simple as that. Back to you, Uncle Ben, who sounds just like me. Well, there we are. Hope that helped, Andy. Now a question from Leaf. Hello, Leaf. Leaf says, Dear Uncle Ben, I'd like to know how many hospital beds there were in Vietnam in 1973. My deputy headmaster asked me this question in 1983. Also, is the number of beds in Vietnam in 73 greater or less than the amount actually available on the NHS in 2017? Much obliged if you can answer this, and a promise of a year's supply of Lincoln biscuits in advance. Ooh, lovely, thank you very much. Well, Leaf, there were in fact 6,406,399.5 hospital beds in Vietnam in 1975. The half was because of Mother Teresa, of course. That probably is more than there are currently available on the NHS, but then their government wasn't constantly trying to destroy it or sell it off, were they, like ours are, so fair enough, really. Oh, and coincidentally, your deputy headmaster actually caused the Vietnam War. It's quite interesting, isn't it? Do tell him to be more careful in the future. Right, next question. Dear Uncle Ben, which image is the odd one out? P.S. Isn't this a searing indictment of the current government's attitude towards the NHS? Yours sincerely, you-know-who. Well, hello, you-know-who. I wonder if you're Voldemort. Probably not. Anyway, you failed to attach any images there, so I'm just going to guess and say that the odd one out is the one of the elongated sloth playing the Moonlight Sonata on the bassoon. Please don't elongate any animals at home, listeners, or even play the Moonlight Sonata, preferably. Right, the next question is from Gemma Silk Radish Patch. Hello, Gemma Silk Radish Patch. She says, Dear Uncle Ben, where does the word bilious derive from? Ah, well, yes. Oh, yes. Bing. Oh, stop it. No one's going to be able to remember that. Anyway, this was back in the Dark Ages, when everything was full of ignorance, superstition, and hatred. Hard to imagine that nowadays, isn't it? Oh, God. Anyway, there was an old curmudgeon known as Vomiting Bill. He was very bad-tempered, probably because he kept vomiting all the time. Anyway, the word bilious came from him. He also invented the trouser press, incidentally. Good old Bill. Right, Sean writes in. Hello, Sean. If M&M is M&M, what does M&M stand for, as in M&M's? Also, which M&M gets the enema? Well, Sean, I shall answer your question like this.
M&M.
Take that, madam. Tally-ho! Let's get this soiree started. I'm Redvers Lawson, yes, I'm Redvers Lawson. All you other Redvers Lawsons are simply being fraudulent, so won't the real Redvers please arise? Please arise, please arise. Yes, I'm Redvers Lawson, I'm the real Redvers Lawson. All you other Redvers Lawsons are simply being fraudulent, so won't the real Redvers please arise? Please arise, please arise. Now get that cravat off at once. It clashes with my second home. What ho? I think that's made that perfectly clear. And now a question from John. Hello, John. John says, Dear Uncle Ben, seeing that there is no conclusive proof that your nephew's changes of profile pictures aren't actually responsible for the demise of so many people in 2016, can we please get a heads up on how many times he intends to change it this year? Oh, and Dear Uncle Death, could you please erase any images you have of me and mine? Except for Penny's, I reckon she could take you. Thank you, yours, me. Well, like most of you, I imagine I sincerely hope he will be changing his profile picture a lot less this year. I hadn't actually thought about him actually causing the deaths. Maybe he is a murderer. Although I doubt it, because that would require organisation and getting out of bed. As for Uncle Death, well, I think the closest we have to that here is probably Whistler. So come on, Whistler, do you want to answer that?
I can't erase any images because they are locked in my dungeon.
Righty-ho.
And they're laminated.
Oh, good lord. Right, well, there we are.
And I like to rub my...
No, stop it at once. Stop it. Shut your face. Back in your corner. Back. Jolly good. Right, Simon writes. Hello, Simon. Who is the flyest of all the white guys? Well, as you heard from my little rap earlier, it's clearly me. I is sick blood. Or something like that. All sounds a bit terminal, doesn't it? Go and see a doctor. And if it isn't me, then it's definitely you, I imagine. Mummy Ram writes in, Hello, Mummy Ram, how are you? Dear... Oh, I can't breathe. That's not what she says. Dear Uncle Ben, why, when you only have a matter of a few minutes to walk your dog before going out, do they choose to roll in fox poo, the most foul-smelling excrement you can possibly imagine? Please explain. Oh, what a delightful question, Mummy Ram. Oh, well, you see, that's because they don't want you to go out, because they love you and can't cope being without you. There we are, doesn't that make you feel lovely and guilty? And also, because fox excrement is a delicacy in dog culture, you see. It goes very well with a nice crisp Chardonnay. Try it sometime. No, actually don't. We'll get letters. Letters, chance would be a fine thing. Nobody listens to this nonsense. Right, Jen writes in. Hello, Jen. Dear Uncle Ben, should I be paying more thought and funds towards my pension, or can I safely assume the world will end long before then? Also, is there a minimum wage for goats? I'm thinking of hiring one to do my tax returns. No. By the time we come to retire, Jen, everyone will be fighting over the last scraps of food and oil while the world melts around us. If we have not been blown up, of course, by then. So no need to worry about pensions. And as for goats, why on earth haven't you had them doing your tax returns already, you fool? They're the best. And as long as you feed and stroke them lots, they're happy as Larry. Well, a goat Larry. Glary. Glary glitter? No, that's awful.
Wanna be in my lamb, my lamb, my lamb. Wanna be in my lamb, my lamb.
What is wrong with me? Obviously, when it comes to making your will, use an ocelot. Let's not be silly about this. Right, Tully writes in. Hello, Tully. Dear Uncle Bobsleigh, is Catch-22 better than Rocky 3, or does Jaws 4 The Revenge knock them all into a pewter pint bag? Well, I'm sorry, it has to be Jaws 4 every time. I mean, it's got a shark, which is apparently a relative of the two sharks killed by Roy Scheider, the other two, and it's actually swimming around the world, specifically trying to kill his whole family. And it has Michael Caine in a plane. No contest, really.
And you're a one-armed piano player once. Took 2 minutes to play the minute was.
Tully continues, Dear Uncle Blackface, good grief, should all the major supermarket chains give away a bronze Yeti with every purchase? If you want my opinion, I would be very happy to receive a metallic mountain man with my melon medley. Oh, I can read that again. A metallic mountain man with my melon medley. Marvellous. Brilliant, yes, they definitely should. I mean, who wants club card points or nectar points when you can have a bronze Yeti? I shall get onto them all at once, or possibly at twice. Except Waitrose, obviously, he'll probably want it to be a diamond-encrusted Yeti with platinum earmuffs, which they'll sell in their essentials range. Thank you, Tully. And now, for no reason at all, here's this.
Tumble dryer, when you put your wet clothes in and they come out alive.
Jolly good. Right, Harry writes in. Hello, Harry. Why is a nut and a seed, but not a nut? Shut up, that's why, Harry. Sophie writes in, Dear Uncle Ben, why is there never enough hours in the day? Oh, well, we all know that feeling, don't we? I've got a feeling in my trousers. Shut up, Whistler. The reason is the world revolves too quickly, you see. We need to slow it down. So if you could sort that out, please, Sophie, let me know how you get on. Thanks muchly. Emma writes in, Hello there, Emma, how are you? Dear Uncle Ben, I was just doing some washing up, and I started to wonder, why is it called washing up, or tidying up? Adding the word up seems to serve no purpose at all, and isn't even descriptive. E.g., washing up doesn't mean holding the dishes above your head while scrubbing them, and tidying up doesn't exclusively refer to arranging things neatly on shelves. There are other examples too, like shape up, brush up, and the much-hated man up. God, yes. So where is this pointless up business coming from? And Mrs. Susan, I do apologise, I appear to be turning into a bumblebee. Let's try that again. And Mrs. Suspicious Coffee Mornings adds to this. And is the annoying exhortation to cheer up a misunderstanding of the non-existent old Cornish ceremony of chair up? Or is it just code for kill me, I'm an insensitive twat? Well, firstly, hello to both of you. Lovely to hear from you. Secondly, these are excellent questions. Well, the whole up concept comes from long, long ago when we used to live upstairs. I know we still have upstairs nowadays, but the difference then was that there was no downstairs, you see. So, if you asked someone to go and do the washing, for example, they'd get all confused and fall off, very likely dying. So you had to say, go and do the washing up. Then they'd remember they were up and it was all fine. Same with tidying up, etc., etc. And if you were to tell someone to cheer themselves round a bit, they'd just spin round and round and then fall to their deaths. So you had to say cheer up instead, you see. However, if, lovely listeners, anyone ever tells you to cheer up or man up, you have my permission to garrot them with a garden hose. Hope that helps.
Tumble dryer, put your jumpers in and they will come out too small.
Sorry, Alex writes in. Hello, Alex. Dear Uncle Ben, How many roads must a man walk down before you can call him a man? Asking for a Nobel Prize winning friend. Ooh, that's exciting. And Mrs. Suspicious Coffee Mornings adds again, and if it's a different number of roads he walks down, what should you call him? Well, good questions. In my opinion, if a man is walking down lots of roads, you can call him an idiot and tell him to get on the sodding pavement, as far as I'm concerned. Mrs. Suspicious Coffee Mornings writes again, Dear Uncle Ben, why were 16 Vestal Virgins heading for the coast?
Oh, 16 Vestal Virgins all heading for the coast, trying to all fit on board one teeny tiny boat. Rowing on the choppy sea, they should have used their heads. Now 16 Vestal Virgins are all salty and dead.
Yes, 16 Vestal Virgins are all salty and dead.
Hope that clears that up. Penny writes in, Good Lord, how are you, Penny? Long time no thing. Penny says, Dearest Uncle Ben, I wonder if you could solve something for me. Which very common man's name is a word used to describe a toilet and a client of a prostitute? John then replies, You never charged me. To which Penny replies, I like to do a bit of charity work, especially for the truly unfortunate. John then writes, Dearest Uncle Ben, what is the name of the incredibly common thing of which it is said that if you find it and pick it up, you will have good luck, even though the real answer is probably a bad case of cock-rot. Now, Penny and John, you're both being very naughty indeed. You either need to have a fight or get a room, or possibly both. Let me know what happens. Actually, don't. You can borrow the Oompa Loompas if you need to. Now, moving on like a well-oiled Oompa Loompa. I need to get that out of my head. Dear Uncle Ben, suppose you're on a game show, exciting, and you're given the choice of 3 doors. Behind one door is a car, behind the others, goats. You pick a door, say number 1, and the host, who knows what's behind the doors, opens another door, say number 3, which has a goat. And then he says to you, do you want to pick door number 2? Is it to your advantage to switch your choice? Yours sincerely, either a goat or a car. Emma comments, does it make a difference if you would actually prefer a goat to a car? To which either a goat or a car replies, this is getting ridiculous. That's true. Actually, I would prefer a goat. Dear Uncle Ben, if and when you get round to answering this, could you please change the word goat to despicable goat and car to extremely lovely goat? Well, I'm terribly sorry. I didn't read ahead, so I didn't change it there, bugger. But you're both very silly, and I love it. Anyway, a goat's much better than a car, obviously, even a despicable one. And I think, by the way, you should actually change your name on Facebook to either a goat or a car. Marvellous.
Uncle Whistler, let me in your house and I'll only wear cling film.
Well, that was disturbing. Right, final question. Well done for sticking with us this far, if you have done. I haven't really. Dave Mann writes in, hello Dave. Dear Uncle Ben, wonder if he'll ever know he's in the best-selling show, Is There Life on Mars? Ah, the legend that was David Bowie. Much missed. Has it really been a year already? Music please, Whistler. Ashes to ashes, dust to stardust. So glad you were here amongst us. You taught us to be free and brave. The world will never be the same. Now there's a starman waiting in the sky. He filled the world with music and then flew back way up high. He's satisfied our souls with song and glitterfied the grey. And now he's gone, the stars look very different today. But this poem is a saddening bore, 'cause I wrote it 10 times or more. And there's nothing that I can say. I just wish that you could have stayed. Now planet Earth is blue, and there's nothing we can do. Check ignition, Mr. Bowie, and make God's love be with you. A Now that you are up there with your galactic gold guitar, we'll look up every single night now that Ziggy plays the stars. Well, that's all we've got time for today on Ask Uncle Ben. Don't forget to write in with any questions you might have, because you can always ask Uncle Ben. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.